Hey guys, it's Ron and Don and Charlie. And if you listen to the last episode of the podcast, we're giving a dog away. Why are we giving my son's dog away? What happened exactly over at your house?
Pretty much. I like the Hi, Charlie. I like, my favorite pen is the Bic blue pen.
Yeah.
Charlie found one that I put on Don's station to write notes, chewed on it, it went into the carpet, and now we are like Resolve.
Yeah.
We did OxyClean.
Yeah.
We've done bleach.
We're finding out blue ink, it never gets better. It only gets worse.
Blue ink is so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
But because of Charlie, I think I'm just going to replace the carpet.
Then we put Charlie in the garage so we could clean the carpet. We stopped the podcast for 40 minutes.
About that.
We went out to the garage. Charlie did tinkle in the garage, and he's 9 months old. And
Well, he more than tinkle.
Well,
He did a
then
full
we
deal
cleaned
there.
up the tinkle. Ron was in I couldn't have been as cool as calm as you were. He backs out his truck, and then we start smelling a little more Charlie, and we're like, oh, he did the other thing too, and now
It's embedded in my tire.
It's embedded in his tires on the garage floor. So anyway,
So my garage has a really nice aroma to it, by the way. That's nice.
we had a lot to clean up. Anyway, we're gonna get to the mailbag. Wanted everyone to be introduced to Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
It's the first time on camera.
What do you think, buddy?
Anyway, you can't tell that he's a 9-month-old puppy.
Not at all.
We'll be back with your mail in about 5 seconds.
Is it rolling?
Yeah. What are you doing? All right. Anyway,
That was Charlie.
yeah, you got to meet Charlie. Wasn't that great? And if you want a dog to come over and chew on a pen and wreck your carpet, boy, do we have the dog for you. Anyway, let's get to the mail this week. Thanks to everybody for writing. And in fact, Seattle Focus, they just did a really cool article on Ron and Don, and we really appreciate that. Everybody at Seattle Focus. That was nice,
Just
wasn't it?
do a quick search and it'll pop up on the interwebs for you.
Yeah. Also, bought a truck this week. So
You bought your own dump truck?
it's a dump truck.
I can't wait, just haven't seen it yet. I want to see it.
His name is Bubba, and my partner and I, who I buy some rental properties with, his name is Joe. We decided we're gonna name our truck Bubba, and the reason we do that is my nickname for my son is Bubba.
Have you?
So when he's
named
like,
your
"Go
dump
get Bubba," I'm not gonna know whether to go to my G-Forces school or whether to go get the dump truck if my partner says, "Hey, go get Bubba." So.
I bet you love that more than anything, driving your own dump
You know what's
truck.
cool about this, and you know this, because congratulations, you just got a new listing this week, and what happens is a lot of times people have so much stuff, they don't realize how much stuff they have, and as a realtor, you got to be willing to pull up and do whatever it takes. So if that means running to the dump, if that means painting a wall, if that means making sure that someone's title is clear, or helping them out to find the right bank or the right lender, you have to have the spirit of whatever it takes, and that's what Bubba's all about.
I can't wait to borrow it. So yeah, speaking of that, I went down to the South End this week and got out of the office, drove down there, and we're going to do a listing and then a purchase. It's really cool, actually. I don't know if you've ever felt this way where you're just like, I'm in the wrong neighborhood. Like, I used to live over here. I thought it'd be great to live over there. And once you got there, you're like, this doesn't feel... Like, I don't feel at home anymore. And so I met with someone from the Ron and Don Nation. We are going to sell the house that she's in and then get her back into the old neighborhood. And it's been really cool. So going through that process right now, I'm like, okay, what does that look like? What is the timeline? What are the expectations? How much is it going to cost? There's a lot of moving pieces. And part of it might be to borrow Bubba the dump truck.
Yeah.
Because when it comes time to get the garage cleaned out and ready to stage that house and take pictures, I think we're going to need to get some stuff out of there and get the staging stuff in there.
Picture of Ron right there at our last podcast. By the way, is a podcast 8 or 9 that just dropped?
I think it's at 9.
Okay, if you want to listen to the podcast, how you do that? Someone just stopped me in the stairwell here because we're at our offices at Windermere. How do you find the podcast? And then how do you find one of those V-neck T-shirts?
Yeah, those are pretty sharp, right?
You look like Dad Brady from
I
Brady.
do. You can get it in all of the major podcast apps. That's the easiest way, and on YouTube. So Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify. You just download the app, search Ron and Don in the little search icon, and we'll pop up. Hit subscribe, and then rate it, like it, review it. Even on Apple as well, and on YouTube, you can subscribe and rate everything.
Yeah. People reach out, they want to know, I went plant-based, you're mostly plant-based. Rich Roll is the author that I read, Ultra Marathon. He has a book about ultra marathon.
I like
Also
this
great.
book with his wife.
Yeah, he has great cookbooks with his wife too. So check out Rich Roll. He has a great
Have you
podcast.
tried the cherry smoothie recipe he's got in there?
No.
It's one of the best. It's a protein cherry chocolate nib smoothie.
Okay.
And it was amazing. It's one of my favorite recipes in the whole book.
Stephanie reached out from the Hyatt Regency Hotel. They would like Ron and Don to come do something with the Hyatt Regency.
We don't want our own rooms. We do not room together.
So we appreciate that. Also, $5 when you buy one of these T-shirts. Here we are, there, Troyer. Goes towards Charlie's Dinosaur, and we're going to be writing a check as kids go back to school for what, over $1,000.
I think we're over $1,200 now, so that'll buy a lot of
you.
backpacks. We really want to appreciate everybody that's done that. If you're having size issues, email me. I'll get you the contact info for our customer service, and they'll get you sorted on that.
Yeah. Also, it was kind of interesting. Over the weekend, my friend Scotty wants to buy an investment property. We went and found the perfect investment property for him. And the thing is, we were getting ready to write, and there was a financial thing that he hadn't addressed yet. And I said, you know what? Let's address it. Let's address the financial thing first before we start writing on a property. Now, a lot of realtors will start writing right away,
Right.
and that's okay too. It's perfectly reasonable to do that. But if you really want to compete on a property, then you got to get your finances in order. That's why ask your realtor. If you don't have one, we would love to represent you. Make sure you have your financing lined up. First, that's called leverage, and you want to be able to pull on that leverage, don't you?
You know what? I'm a lot like Scotty. I think of it as almost like summit fever. You hear about people that are 100 yards from the top of Mount Everest, and
Yeah.
they just go for it, whether they're ready or not.
Yeah.
I get emotionally involved if there's a purchase like that. And
Yeah.
I see it. It's like I want that thing.
Well, it is
And
emotional.
sometimes I get out over my skis a little bit. It's important to have someone that can kind of pull me back and go, time out. Like, I know you're excited about this, but let's talk about the practical side instead of just the emotional side.
Yeah, it all starts with sitting down and talking with somebody about your property, or if you're thinking about going out and buying, selling, whatever it is, it starts with a little survey. And we could even come sit with you and go over the survey, and it's cool stuff. What are some of the things that we ask on our survey?
You know what? I want to get to know who you are, what you're about, like what your goals are. What do you see happening, not just like right now, but like what's the 3-year plan, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan? I even wrote a piece on my blog this week. My latest column is about maybe you can buy a property for your child, and you look out in a 15, 20-year time horizon. It's like, hey, my kid's 3 right now. I'm going to pay for their college by buying a rental property. And so it depends on what the time horizon is, what your goals are. We can work with all of that stuff. I do have one very important question for you, though. Where's Charlie? What happened to him?
Everybody here at Windermere wants to know where Charlie is. He's in a very secret place right now. In fact, he's down at Ron's house, and he's probably chewing on a big pen right now.
Exactly.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Ron and Don podcast. We really appreciate you. And if you need someone to represent or just talk about real estate, whether it's your primary residence or you're thinking about buying, selling, holding, flipping, whatever it is, we'd love to talk to you. Ron at Windermere.com, Don O'Neill at Windermere.com. It's all right there. And we will see you on the podcast. It drops every Monday morning when Ron gets up.
Exactly.
And don't forget to get signed up for the newsletter, which I thought was a horrible idea until everybody starts signing up.
That's right. RonandDon.com. Just click on the microphone, put in your info, and we'll get you the newsletter.
All right, we'll see you on the podcast, and reach out to us, and we'll see you next week.